porn in a relationship, because I just think that that's embarrassing. I don't want to talk about this. I don't even want to say it out loud. I hated my body and I felt so insecure about it. You don't want to look like everybody else. What are your thoughts on being a girl's girl? Did you ever have a hookup era and did it make you feel bad about yourself? Another girl in the picture. How to deal with friendship trauma and breakups. Is it bad if I can't finish when I have sex? Don't be afraid to bring toys into the bedroom. Spice up your sex life. I hope my family isn't watching this. Hey! Today we're sitting down, I'm gonna do my makeup, and we are going to answer girl talk questions. I have my Dunkin' in hand because I slept like 3 hours last night and I am unwell. But the show must go on. Let's get into it. We're sitting on the floor today, very cozy vibes. I just wanted to sit and chat as if we are besties at a sleepover, talking about boys, relationships, friendships, sex, everything. There are truly so many confusing parts about navigating your 20s and just girlhood in general. It could feel very, very lonely, a lot of the things that we have to go through. And sometimes you don't want to talk about it with your friends. Sometimes it's just something that you'd rather keep inside. So I had you guys ask me all the questions on Instagram and I'm going to be answering all of them today. I don't know what qualifies me to be giving advice, but I do feel like I have been through a good share of some things in this life of mine, and I feel like I am that friend that like always has advice to give, and I would like to think it's pretty good advice, so we'll get into it. What are your thoughts on porn in a relationship? This is something that I think is very situational. Personally, if I were in a relationship, I would find it very weird if my boyfriend were like subscribed to a bunch of OnlyFans or something like that, where it's a little bit more personal, or like following a bunch of Insta baddies that post half naked on Instagram. I'd be like, babe, why do you need to see that, and why do you need to follow them? Because I just think that that's embarrassing for me. Like, why are you publicly following these people? Don't do that. That's weird. But I think if they're like on Pornhub every now and then when you're out of town and they're just doing their thing, that's kind of fine. I think it also becomes an issue when it's just too much, when they're watching porn when they could be having sex with you. It's like, why are you doing that? I'm right here. I'm right here. What's going on? So very situational, but I do think it is pretty normal for a guy to watch porn here and there. It just really depends on a lot of different things. But if you are together every single day and you're having sex on a regular basis, why do you need to watch porn? I think like a long distance situation, okay, watch your porn. Depends, truly. Do you think the approval of friends is important in relationships, or their opinion shouldn't matter? I honestly value my friends' opinions a lot when it comes to guys, but only certain friends, only my closest friends who I know have my best interest at heart, because I feel like some friends are a little too judgmental, but I definitely think that it matters. Like, you should want the people in your life to like the guy that you're with. And if they don't, if your best friends don't like the guy you're with, and if your family doesn't like the guy you're with, you have to reevaluate the situation, because there is a reason. They're seeing something that you're not. I feel like when you're in a relationship, you are blind to so many things. But again, everything is situational. If your friends don't like the guy that you're talking to for no reason, then that's not a reason to stop talking to him. Like, let's say they think he's ugly, or they think he's annoying, or they think, I don't know, just something silly that isn't really that big of a deal. It shouldn't matter. At the end of the day, you have to like him, your friends don't. But if there are valid reasons why they don't like him and he's just kind of a shitty person, I would say that you should take their opinions into consideration. Okay, the number one most asked question probably was about body image. So I'm just gonna read one of them and we'll go off. I liked this question because it went a little bit more in depth. She said, how do you deal with body image? I tend to compare myself to others and also how I used to look. I'm 23, so I'm comparing my body to my high school body when I was an athlete. It's something I'm really struggling with. I do work out, but it's not the same. I 100% get this. My body is something that I silently struggle with all the time. I don't talk about it much because it's something that I constantly up and down am struggling with, and I don't like, it's too real. It's honestly too real, and I'm like, I don't want to talk about this. I don't even want to say it out loud because it's something that I internally deal with, and when I speak it out loud, it becomes more real than it already is. You know what I mean? But it is super important to be open about, so we'll talk about it today. This is something that I swear every single girl deals with at some point in their life. Transitioning into your woman body after being in high school is actually crazy. I look back at pictures and I'm like, what the fuck? Because I look back at these pictures and I'm like, wow, like I should have loved myself more then, because I looked great. And I remember at that time thinking that I hated my body and I felt so insecure about it when I was in high school. But now I look back and I'm like, I looked great. Why did I ever feel that way? And I bet you in 10 years, I'm gonna look back at myself now and think the very same thing. But it's just a part of freaking life. Again, this is something that I currently deal with. My body fluctuates up and down, up and down. I'm short, so it's something I'm always gonna have to deal with, which is really hard. So I feel like I'm not the best to give advice in this topic because I do still struggle with it, but I do try to constantly remind myself that this is the only body I have. It's beautiful, it works, it's healthy. Those are truly the only things that matter at the end of the day. The main things that help me cope with this is one, working out, which I have been slacking in so much, and I've noticed such a decrease in my mental health since I haven't really been working out. I feel so much better and more comfortable in my skin when I am, because I know that I'm taking care of myself. Also, something really big for me has been finding clothes that I feel confident in. I think I look good in and are flattering, but honestly it is just such a hard thing and I don't even have the correct answer because I still am dealing with this. But I love you and you're not alone, and that's what's most important, is knowing that you aren't alone, and so many other girls in their 20s and at every other age are dealing with this too. There are also so many beauty standards in our generation, it's insane, but just know that you don't have to look like every other girl. Every single body is beautiful. I need to tell this to myself. Not everyone looks the same, not everybody is ever gonna look the same, and you don't want to look like everybody else. And trust me, nobody is thinking about your body and how it looks as much as you are. Like, seriously. We are all our own worst critics. How to make yourself go on more first dates. To be so honest, I don't think that this is something that you should force yourself with. I currently am taking a seat in the dating department. I am not dating right now. I don't want to go on any dates with anybody. I don't want to meet anybody. I want to be by myself. I got so just sick of going on first dates. But when you meet a guy that you actually want to go out with, you're going to. You don't have to force yourself to go out with like every guy that asks you. But when I am in the mood to date, because it is important to put yourself out there, and someone could surprise you. You could get asked on a date by somebody and you're like, no, not gonna work with him, and then that could end up being the love of your life. Like, people seriously surprise you every single day. So it is good to put yourself out there. I like to just tell myself, like, I'm doing this for the plot. It's gonna be a good story. It's not that serious. It's just a fun little drink. Going to get drink with a guy. It's fun. So yeah, just tell yourself you're doing it for the plot. It's fun to have stories. Fun to have stories to report back to the group chat and giggle about, even if it doesn't end up being your husband. It's fun. You learn about yourself, but don't push yourself. You don't have to go on a million dates a week at all. You don't have to be doing the most, but if a cute guy asks you out, just say you're doing it for the plot and it'll be a fun time. I get so anxious before dates, and I swear every single date that I've been on has been so much better than I thought it would be. Like, none of them have been that awkward. They all end up going fine. Even if it's not the best date ever, it goes all right. So I will say it's a lot more scary in your head than it actually is. What are your thoughts on being a girl's girl? Half the time, the girls who say that they are a girl's girl are the fakest bitches. I kind of agree with this. It is like the equivalent of someone being like, no, I'm a good person, and like needing to like really emphasize how much of a good person they are because they're guilty about something. Like, I'll be a girl's girl to a girl who is a good person, but like, if you aren't a good person, I'm not just gonna like be on your team because you're a girl too. Girls can be in the wrong. It's like situational with who you can be girls with, but it's not something I would like preach from the rooftops, you know? Like, I wouldn't be like, everyone, I'm a girl's girl. Like, it's weird. I don't know. Did you ever have a hookup era, and did it make you feel bad about yourself? Yes and yes. When I lived in LA, I would say that kind of was like my hookup era. It made me feel shitty. It didn't make me feel great. Not that I was like sleeping around or anything like that, because I never have been one to do that. But yeah, it did make me feel bad about myself. I just felt like, I don't know, I just felt icky. Like, that's the only way I could describe it. And ever since that realization, I have been a million times more picky, and I literally am like accidentally celibate because I refuse to hook up with somebody that I'm not like head over heels for, and apparently that doesn't come by too often. So like, get in between would be nice, but no. Every time I like a guy and he likes me back, there's always some kind of obstacle. I think I'm slowly starting to give up. I relate to this so freaking heavily. I feel like every single time that me and a guy like each other, there ends up being another girl in the picture, either from their past that comes back, or they're just talking to another girl and they pick her. It's so frustrating and so annoying, but I like to tell myself, and I'm gonna tell you too, that the right person that is truly for you, nothing is gonna come in the way of that. And yeah, that's what I tell myself. So I hope it's true. Opinion on friends that don't show up for you. You should feel like your friends are your biggest supporters, are always cheering you on. Your friends should make you feel good and supported. And if they're not, then I think that I would reevaluate the friendship. I get that some people have their own shit going and they're preoccupied by their own lives, which can only be an excuse for so long, to be honest, because that shouldn't stop you from being a good friend constantly, you know? And if you're feeling in your gut that they kind of are just not cheering you on because they are jealous in some way or they just don't want to see you win, I think that that's not a good friendship, and you deserve more than that. You deserve friends who are going to be supporting you through everything. Sticking with the friendship topic, how to deal with friendship trauma and breakups. This is real as fuck. You could get so much trauma from friendships. It's actually crazy. I have been through a couple of friend breakups, and I seriously think that it's so much harder dealing with that than dealing with a true breakup, because I don't know, there's just something about a friendship that's just such a bond that you think is never going to end. So when it does, it's just like, what the fuck? And it's also really hard when the closest people to you kind of like screw you over, or were talking behind your back, or just weren't there for you the way that you were there for them. Being blindsided by a friend and their intentions is the worst feeling ever. So when that happens once, it is honestly scary, and you think that it's just gonna keep happening. You'll go through some trauma from that, where like you think every friend is gonna do that to you. You think every person in your life is just gonna talk shit about you the second that you turn around and leave that room. And it sucks, but one day you're gonna meet friends who validate you and assure you that they love you and that they would never do that to you. And it's the best feeling ever in the entire world when you find those people. If a friend does you wrong, truly they were never a friend to begin with, and it's a win at the end of the day. You don't want those people in your life anyways. Bikini line maintenance tips. Wait, pause on the mascara. I want to go grab some of the things that I use. BRB. Okay, got the goods. I really don't use that many products when it comes to shaving, but I will say make sure that you have a very good shaving cream and razor. I like this shaving cream. It's from Refreshment's Pillowy Shave Cream. I wouldn't say that you need this one, but just any shaving cream. And this is the razor I've been using. I honestly switch up my razor kind of often, but this one's from Athena Club and I've been really liking it. It stays sharp for a while. And always making sure that you have like a fresh razor. Once it gets dull, switch it out. That's how you get the best clean shave. Also, wait a little bit in between each time you shave. If you're shaving every single day, that's what's going to create those bumps and ingrown hairs. It's just not great. So try as best as you can to wait till there's a decent amount to shave, you know? But when you do get those bumps from shaving, this product is amazing. This is the First Aid Beauty Bump Eraser Body Scrub. I really like this. It helps a lot, but my biggest tip is to wait in between shaving. Another product, just an honorable mention that I've been loving. You can get this at Target. This is the Love Wellness pH Balancing Cleanser. If you don't know, you're not supposed to put soap in your vag. You're supposed to just kind of clean it with water. It cleans itself. So clean your body, clean the outside of it, skin. But when it comes to like the inside, just use water. But you could also use this, and I've been really liking this. I started using it a few months ago and I just repurchased another bottle because I think it's really good. It's a pH balancing cleanser and you're allowed to use it down there, and it's good and I like it, and it makes me feel very clean and smell good, and yeah, it's really amazing. That's what I used to shave and for down there. I really want to get lasered on my bikini line. I feel like that would be such a game changer, but until then, we shave. How to be happy and not worry about being on the right track. This is something that everybody in their 20s has to deal with. I am convinced of it. And if you have gone through your 20s without feeling that way, you are a very lucky individual. I like to just remind myself that the journey is the fun part. I'm also such a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. You're always exactly where you're meant to be. I feel like just telling yourself those little affirmations honestly goes a really long way, because that's really all you could do. And if you just do little things every single day that are working towards your bigger goals, that'll be a great way to feel just accomplished, you know? One of my friends did my best friend wrong. What do I do? What did she do to your best friend? Could be situational, but I'm always on my best friend's side. I mean, sometimes she's wrong and I'll tell her. I'm not a yes man friend. But if a person truly did your best friend wrong, fuck that person, you know? That's not cool. I'm so happy because it's 70 degrees in New York today. This is like the warmest day of the year so far. Spring is freaking coming. I'm going to a happy hour in a couple of hours in the West Village. The spring and summer is where I thrive. Like, I feel myself just defrosting. So happy. I've been loving taking a brown eyeliner and flicking it kind of messily in the corner of my eye. I like doing it after mascara because I can't notice if it looks good or not. So it makes it easier. And like, it doesn't matter once you have the mascara on if it's perfect. And I take a little brush and I just flick it out. I feel like it makes my eyelashes look more full, and I also put it on my tight line. I don't like too harsh of eyeliner, so this is like a nice soft little line that just fills your eyelashes. And then I take a little bit of a brown eyeshadow and I just blend that on my lower lash line. And I haven't been doing a lower mascara the past couple days, and I've been liking how it looks with just this. Okay, last question to wrap this up. Is it bad if I can't finish when I have sex? No, it's not that you can't, it's just that you haven't. You haven't figured out exactly what you like. I think that this is a great opportunity to just experiment with different things, different toys. Don't be afraid to bring toys into the bedroom. I think it can be very fun, spice up your sex life, and can make you finish. I saw a couple questions in there like, how do I tell my boyfriend that he isn't making me finish? Just be like, babe, let's try something new. Let's try something fun, and maybe guide him towards your clit. I hope my family isn't watching this. But there is a nice way you could tell your boyfriend, like, just be like, babe, I think it's over here. And trust me, if you ask a guy to incorporate like a vibrator in the bedroom, they're not gonna say no, they're gonna think that's hot. So don't be afraid to do that because it'll only benefit you in the long run. Okay, with that being said, we're done. That's the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed. We definitely can do this again. I love answering your questions. I love giving advice. I hope that you learned something from this, and if you didn't, I hope you just enjoyed. I love you guys so much. You're my favorite people ever, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.